The meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Rosado, roll call.
George Andrews,
Present.
Rebecca Bear,
Present.
Ann Petrillo,
Here.
Mike Petrillo,
Here.
Jason Goldstrand,
Present.
Keith Carcutt,
Present.
Debbie Kulik,
Present.
Wayne Broner,
Here.
Rich Namath,
Present.
9 present.
Welcome to all of our guests, and if you are present with us, just be sure you have signed in on the near the entrance door so we have a record of who was here this evening. An executive session was held this evening before the meeting for the purpose of discussing personnel, litigation, and negotiations. We need a motion to adopt this agenda for November 18th, 2024.
Second.
Questions?
Yes. Like to table item number M14, page 7.
M14.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have second. Any questions on the tabling?
I think table implies that we're gonna bring it back next month, which maybe will, maybe it won't, but I think we just want to remove it,
Okay,
Okay,
period, and if it comes back later, it comes back later.
okay,
okay.
Makes sense?
and
So I'll amend the motion to remove item M14,
okay,
page 7.
okay, and our seconder, you good with that?
Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay,
Thank you.
and then we do we still have the motion to
Yeah, put the agenda. overall.
approve the agenda overall?
Yes.
Do we have a
Yes.
second on that?
I did, yeah.
Okay,
We
and
did.
all in favor?
Yes, I agree to that.
Okay, and opposed? Okay, perfect. Motion to approve the minutes of the October 21st, 2024 meeting.
Second.
Second.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I'm sorry. Okay. Now we're up to our superintendent's report. Dr. Tolino?
I don't have a report, but I wanted to publicly thank the board and the community and the school district, the students, the staff for welcoming me since June. This will be my last board meeting here, as of course, the district's going to be in amazing hands with Dr. Vitale. I'm so excited for her and for her career, and I'm also excited for this board and the school district. So I want to thank everybody for basically welcoming me and the way that I've been treated here for the number of months that I've been here. So thank you very much for this opportunity, to the board and again to this school community. Thank you.
Thank you.
And yes, and then on behalf of the board, again, thank you. We were in a position where we needed leadership, and you certainly provided leadership, guidance, and creative thinking for us, and respectfully led our district and the people in our district over the last 3 months. And for that, all of us on the board are very, very grateful to you. It was nice to have a in-town person right here with us who's led us so great through that. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Our Monroe Career and Technical Institute report.
Okay. Excuse me. On Monday, November 4th, 2024, the MCTI JOC met to discuss items, financing, curriculum and instruction, student activities and personnel items, and the progress of the MCTI Conference Center edition. First, I'd like to announce that Monroe Career and Technical Institute was awarded the Pennsylvania Redevelopment Assistant Capital Program, or RCAP, in the amount of $1 million. I want to thank all those in administration and the help of Senator Rosemary Brown. That money is going to be used for the expansion to provide for a much needed improvement to the securities within MCTI. The new addition will provide indoor lockdown and staging areas in the daily transition time for students, and this will allow additional space for MCTI's programs to continue to grow. That said, I'm also happy to report that the addition is moving along right on schedule. We're still within our contracted amount window, and our completion date is still set for June 30th of 2025. We approved the electrical purchasing agreement with BP Energy Retail until July of 2027, and the change order for the construction for curb demolition and replacement. We also agreed on a motion to approve the participation in a study conducted by RTI International, which is funded by the United States Department of Education Institute of Educational Sciences. We reviewed and approved 8 board policies presented per policies and procedures. We approved numerous field trips for November to the Automotive Training Center in Warminster, Pennsylvania. We also approved the East Stroudsburg University field trip, and in February, we approved for the Criminal Justice Department to visit the Monroe County Correctional Facility. Unfortunately, we had some resignations in the plumbing and HVAC area and the work to school coordinator. We also approved several family and medical leaves. I am happy to report that we did finalize the employment agreement with our business manager, Mr. Joel Brunch, for the next several years. Our next planned meeting is December 9th after the school board reorganizations.
Okay, thank you,
Thank you.
Jason. The Colonial IU is me. Unfortunately, I was out of town for the last meeting. I did review their minutes online. I don't see anything that was imperative that we talk about right now. However, next month I will have a comprehensive report on the 2 months for everybody. Property and Facilities Committee.
Okay, we met on November 6th, 2024. Items requiring action. We made a motion to recommend the entertainment services group for the JTL auditorium lighting upgrades for $198,171.22. Made a motion to recommend American Fence Company for the North Campus softball fence pole removal. Moving them in from 250 feet to 200 feet. We made a motion to recommend approval of Jason Hossinger for $18,200 to install perimeter drain at the Lehman baseball field. That is to help dry the field, keep it dry. We recommended a motion to recommend additional flooring projects for the summer of 2025 to go out to bid for JM Hill. Asbestos abatement projected cost $94,875. Out of that figure, $37,150 is through an environmental grant. The second school is Resica remaining replacement projected cost $150,000, and the last school is JTL remaining VCT replacement projected cost at $600,000. Motion was made to recommend payment of Dewey Engineering, now CHA invoices. Resica HVAC replacement, $1,827.70. High School North Lehman rooftop equipment invoice for $2,040.85. Middle Smithfield Elementary, East Stroudsburg Elementary flooring for $6,785 and change. High School South Fieldhouse equipment invoice for $1,968.78. And the final one was the North Storm Pipe replacement invoice for $1,918.08. Application for payment. Motion was made to recommend the application for payment number 3 for Rutledge Excavating for stage 2 of the storm pipe replacement at the North High School. I think on this agenda, we're going to be approving Munn Roofing to do a change order to fix the moisture problem for the natatorium roof. High School South boilers and the hot water heater and circulation pumps are projected to have a December installation. Our next meeting is Wednesday, December. I don't know, don't have a calendar.
We haven't announced it yet because of the reorg.
Tentatively December 4th.
Yeah, I think it's
That
December
reminds
4th.
me.
It's this 4th. It is December 4th one.
Okay.
at 5:30.
Yeah, it's December 4th, yes.
Okay. Okay, great. Thank you, Wayne.
Yeah.
Education Programs and Resources Committee.
We did not meet for the month of November and we are tentatively scheduled for Thursday, December 5th at 5:30 after reorganization.
Okay, thank you. Finance Committee, Rebecca.
We did not meet in November and we will have the new date after the reorg meeting since our meeting usually falls right after that. So
Okay, thanks, Rebecca. And Policy Committee, Keith.
We did meet and
Good.
no one from this table still showed up. No, we'll get. It was a great meeting. We continue to trudge along and go through all our older policies that have been on the books, some since 2000 and like 12, 10, quite a bit. We're going and fixing them up a little bit. There are a bunch of policies. I won't review them, but the policies on tonight's agenda, we ask your cooperation and support of those. But also, we tonight went over policies that we are asking the administration to direct the administration to post the following policies: 601, 602, 603, 604, 605, 606, 608, 610, 611, 612, 613, and 614, with noted revisions for public review during the month of November and subsequent board action in December. Like I said, most of these were just grammatical changes, changing the word, the name title business manager to chief financial officer. And just some changes that way, but we're staying on top of it, and our projected meeting time is probably gonna be the same too, I guess, once we know the reorganizational meeting. So, well, yes, because we'll know after the first, yes, but that's all I think we need to present at this point. Thank you for your
Okay.
time.
Thanks, Keith. And now my favorite part of the meeting, our student reps, and I wasn't here last month, so my personal welcome to both of our reps, and we'll start with Alyssa from High School North.
Keith, give her your microphone.
Oh, sorry, we need to get them a mic.
Like that, right down in the.
All in favor?
Wait,
Aye.
Aye.
Second. Make a note of that in the minutes, please. That's right.
So good evening, school board, faculty, and guests. To reintroduce myself, my name is Alyssa Dina. I'm a senior at East Stroudsburg North, and I will be your 2024-2025 student representative. I'm just so excited to tell you about the amazing thing happening this month. You know, November, we start to reach the slower months of the year, but still our school still does amazing things. So to start off with academics, our journalism class published their first edition of the Timberwolf Times in this school year. We heard articles about misinformation, student health, our football team, and even the school parking lot. So that was really fun. And we are proud to recognize 3 outstanding students from the Monroe County and Technical Institute from their academic achievements. Veronica D'Agostino, Emmanuel Richards, and Kiara Meminger were named students of the quarter for their achieving the highest GPA in their programs for the first marking period. And now moving on to the arts. So we're going to backtrack to October. On October 24th, the talented choir students auditioned for the PMEA District 10 choir at Parkland High School. Their hard work paid off. Valentina Godiva ranked 4th among the 127 soprano 2s that auditioned, and Joseph Canetti ranked 16th out of the 85 bass 1s that auditioned. They will represent us in the District Choir Festival in February, and they'll have the chance to audition for the Regional 5 choir while being there. Several of our art students participated in contests around the area, with Alexander Kaplavka, Amari Abrams, and Luca Furia entering the Wayne and Juliana V. Bolt Art Contest as part of the East Stroudsburg University MLK breakfast celebration. Additionally, Prince Providence and Caleb Richards from our photography program has submitted work to the Jean Capaldi Lens on Litter photo contest. And on November 5th, the March Symphonic and Marching Band demonstrated their incredible talent by marching in the Veterans Day Parade in Stroudsburg. We are especially thrilled. We heard a lot of good feedback from this performance. And on November 15th, I'm so sorry, 10 of our 9th grade students took part in the Sweet Sound Stations Treble Voice Choir Festival at Central Dauphin High School. After being selected by audition, they spent the day rehearsing with other students around Pennsylvania, and they concluded their day with a concert. And as the holiday season is approaching, the North High School Chorale is gearing up for exciting lineup performances. We have several tree lightings, and we go to hospitals, and we have places around the community. And we're just so excited to spread the holiday cheer. And my favorite announcement for the arts, East Stroudsburg North is proud to present this year's musical, Seussical the Musical. Auditions will be held in December, and performances will be in April 5th, 6th, and 7th. And I'm auditioning, guys, so wishing you luck. And now we're gonna move on to athletics. And so this year has been amazing for our football team. They won 4 games this season, which made them the best team record since 2016. These wins made them able to compete in the District 11 playoffs for the first time since 2017. And in other football news, Zach Dureski Martinez and Wayne King both surpassed the 1,000-yard rushing mark for the first time in North history that 2 players have been able to do it in the same season. Both players were also named first-team All-Star, All-Monroe Division EPC Football All-Stars for their stellar performances with the balls. And now on to girls sports. Our volleyball team had a strong showing this season with Amber Beckworth and Riley Harris being named EPC's North Division All-Stars for their remarkable performances. And in girls soccer, Reagan Brown earned first team Monroe Division EPC's All-State honors, while also being named Pocono All-Stars team along with her teammates Aspen Knoll, who's on the second team, and a special shout out goes to Maura Bear, who is the goalkeeper, and an honorable mention. And finally, to conclude athletics, the winter sports season is officially picked up beginning on Friday, November 16th. We're excited to see all the action, including from girls and boys basketball, cheerleading, rifle, swimming, track and field, and wrestling. And we just wish good luck to all of them. And finally, we're going to shift gears into extracurriculars. On November 8th, North High School hosted a vibrant Future Educator Cohort event, welcoming 45 aspiring educators from both North and South. The day was packed with interactive roundtable discussions, while students learned from professional fields such as special education, speech therapy, athletics, ELL support, and school counseling. We also had the privilege of hearing from guest speakers from the East Stroudsburg University. And on November 8th, Ms. Mazinski represented our school at the Education Law Association annual conference at Disney Springs. She presented her research on Safe to Say Anonymous threat reporting system in Pennsylvania. Her paper analyzed key trends in Safe to Say tips, as well as safe school incidents across the state. And finally, Ms. Marma represented North High School at the PBIS Advanced Implementation Forum with her presentation Amplifying Student Voices. She highlighted how student involvement strengthens the PBIS initiatives. And with that, I do close my report. Thank you all for your attention, and I hope you hear about the amazing things happening in our school. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Good. Thank you, Alyssa.
Thank
That was
you.
great. And I'm so excited you're doing Zoozical. I got to play the mayor of Whoville in a community production not too many long ago. It is an amazing, fun show. So you will actually love being in that show. That's a great show. And now representing South, Carl.
Hi, everyone. You should have all gotten newsletters again, so you're more than welcome to follow along. I also have slides for anyone watching at home. So I'm back for November, super excited. We've also had some fun events and things going around South. I'm going to start with our annual Career Day event, which took place on October 29th. It's put on by the Honor Seminar class, and they work with Monroe County RSVP. The South students that attend, I think we had over 200 this year. They get to hear about different careers, different industries from people who are currently working or retired. And I know we had lots of upper level administrators who took place and presented or attended. Lots of you I saw as well. So thank you for that. Mrs. Bunn's AP Government and Politics students participated in the Senator for a Day event for future leaders, which was hosted by State Senator Rosemary Brown at Northampton Community College. And the students got to take place in a mock Senate session and get to engage in the legislative process. So that was exciting for them. I also have noted here how our South future educators attended the North event. So that was awesome. And I specifically heard about how they learned about how collaborative efforts go into teaching with various positions in schools. Switching gears to our PBIS Teachers of the Month, Our teachers of the month for October were Mrs. Bixler and Miss Groff. We're both great teachers and have a lot of value in their certain subject areas. And while we're on PBIS, our school recently received Tier 1, 2, and 3 MTSS and school-wide positive behavior recognition, which is really awesome. We're super excited. Tier 3 is the highest honor you can get, so we're very proud to be a Tier 3 school with that. Our art classes have competed in the Paint the Plow contest for PennDOT, and we've also submitted work for the Juliana V. Bolt art contest, excuse me. Our Kava Java is an annual poetry event hosted by the creative writing elective classes, and it imitates an open mic night at a coffee shop where students can share their poetry or written works for any family and friends that attend. It was a great effort by a lot of our English teachers who all collaborated, and this year's theme was Leave It at the Mic. Just last week, our South seniors attended a Rotary luncheon hosted by the Stroudsburg Rotary at Shawnee Inn, and it was for leaders from various schools, High School North, Stroudsburg, MCTI, and we got to meet with Rotary members, other leaders from those schools, and we heard a presentation from keynote speaker Ryan Leckie, who owns a successful media company, so that was very nice. Flipping to the back, we have our 12 Plus program is continuing to thrive. They had a demonstration at the House of Candles in Henryville. Their presenter, Joel, taught them about how the business started and did a demonstration for them, which they loved. We are also seeing success in Project Search at Kalahari Resort. Featured here are 3 of our South students that are finishing their first internship projects and are aiming to gain employment at the end of it. So that's very exciting. Our Special Olympics Club recently participated in a cup stacking event to beat the World Speed Stacking Guinness Book of World Records. So it was a worldwide effort from, I believe I read, New Zealand to California. It went consecutively, and I believe we had over 500 students at South that participated. Just want to highlight our athletics program as well. Our winter sports season began on the 15th. And our football team won the District 11 championship by defeating Whitehall. And this past Friday, we hosted Roman Catholic in the first round of the state championships. We may not have come out victorious in that one, but we had a great season, so it was awesome. Our Key Club, this is also back to October, hosted their annual Halloween party for the residents at Shirley Futch, a senior living community. They worked with Miss Brotherton's class and created dinner. They served over 35 residents, sent dinner to residents who couldn't leave their rooms, and also donated the leftover food to a soup kitchen. More exciting news from just this past week, our cheer team competed in a competition at Freedom High School. They placed first in the co-ed varsity division and were named the grand champs of the entire competition, meaning they had the highest score of anyone there. A little advertisement also back to the arts for our fall play, which is this upcoming weekend. It's The Broken Window, and it's November 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. Our driver's education classes had the Lehigh Valley Health Network Trauma Prevention Unit brought to our school, and they had simulators there to practice driving and learn about the importance and the danger of being distracted or impaired while driving, not the importance, the danger of it. And our NHS students were there to volunteer and assist with that. South also had a student who successfully auditioned for district choir. That was Abigail Silva. So she will also be attending the festival in early February. So thank you all for your time. That's all I have this month.
Okay, thank you, Barb. Appreciate it. Do we have Nayla from MCTI online? Sometimes she reports online. Do we have anyone online?
No.
No, okay.
Hey, Mike, before you continue, can I just say I went to the JTL and Lehman play this past weekend and JTL the previous, and I just want to commend the arts there too. It was, both schools did a phenomenal production and I enjoyed them both.
Excellent. Good.
And I was going to say the same thing. I got a chance to see Moana this past weekend. It was very good a bit.
And you were at JTL with me as well.
And then also JTL. Did you mention, the veterans? You said that, right?
No, I said the JTL play. I forgot about the.
Oh yeah, but
veterans we were at,
the
too.
just veteran Rebecca and I attended that also. The Veterans Day celebration put on at JTL was simply amazing. If you get a chance to look on the YouTube channel for JTL, they had an amazing slideshow. They had a keynote speaker that was incredible. He's from the area, And I'm just honored that we are able to put on programs like that at our schools to honor our veterans. And note that we have many veterans that work in our district. We got to know, one of the highlights of the event was they actually posted slides of all the veterans that are in our school, as well as parents and family. It was very, very touching. And I'm honored to work with those folks and that they work with us at our district. That it was a great program. So
Good. Thank you. Thank you. for the
Thank
report.
I should note, only because my granddaughter was so excited. She had the Veterans Day program at Resica, and she said, and I saw Mr. Francis, who she meets at church, and she said, and he flew an airplane when he was there. He was very young then. But nonetheless, that goes to show that across the board, it really affects our kids and they learn a lot.
Thank you. There's so many great things, and we thank, all of our staff, teachers, principals, everyone, parents who make all those great things happen out there. Just for the record, we do have a MCTI representative who's not here this time, but we'll check in with her and have a report next month. And also a reminder to our two representatives, we love your reports, but don't ever hesitate if students come up to you with concerns or suggestions. We're also very open to have those as part of your report and hear from you on those issues too. Okay. All right, let's move on to Mr. Bard, the AFR presentation.
I'm waiting for the screen to come up.
is it possible to tilt the monitors? Can we
I can
tilt?
tilt it up for you.
I can tilt.
see that?
You can tilt it up. There you go, buddy.
You can see it too on that side. You watch my site. I see something. I have to watch it.
Is that better for you?
Better for you.
Oh, we have it on here too? I didn't see that.
Yeah, you can put on your, it's on the Zoom.
Right here?
Oh.
Oh, no, I get.
You guys, I'll wait
Oh,
till.
here, I hit this.
Wait till we're ready.
You're right.
But before we get started, I just want to thank my staff for working very hard on this, the general fund, the financial result, working with the auditors to get it complete, and working to complete the AFR in a timely manner. So I want to acknowledge that before the community and the board that my staff did an excellent job getting this completed. So are you guys ready?
Mhm.
Okay, all right. So the 23-24 general fund financial report results, the annual financial report was filed timely with the state of Pennsylvania, with the Commonwealth. It's due by October 31st with however, the state gives an automatic 30-day extension to any LEA or a school district that requires extra time to complete it. It's automatic under the school code. So we did get it in within those 30-day extensions. If you go to the next slide, we'll begin with this. Like I said, I want to thank the staff for completing this and getting it in at a regular time. They make me actually look a lot better than truly I am. I'm never the smartest man even in my own office. The 23-24 budget to actual. So we'll start with looking at the revenues that were budgeted. That is the money that we expected to get in. It was 179,285,398. And the 23-24 revenues that were actually got in were 182,076,906. The 23-24 expenditures that we budgeted out were 187,784 even. And the actual expenditures that we spent were 182,117,190. So what does that boil down to? It boils down to that the deficit that we budgeted was 8,498,602, and the actual deficit was 40,284. That is primarily a balanced budget when it came into existence. So that is primarily if you look at it, it came in from being conservative on the revenues and being aggressive on the expenditures. And I will go through, as we go through this presentation, I will walk you through some of the categories where we saved money and where the revenues came in over what we budgeted for. If you go to the next slide. 23-24 revenues, the local sources, or the 6,000 revenue code on the actual, AFR budget book that was circulated. We budgeted 108,722,094, and we actually received 109,520,035. The state sources budgeted were 60,526,724, and the state actual was 61,389,398. And the federal sources, the budgeted number was 9,987,030. And the federal sources, the actual number was 10,650,012. As you can tell, they were all above, the actual numbers were all above what was budgeted. Now, I will also point out to the members of the public and to the board, the district is primarily funded about 60% to 40% budgeted by the local sources, which is your local income tax, your local earned income tax, your local real estate transfer taxes. If you go to the next slide, we'll walk you through each category. We'll start by the local sources. The local budgeted amount was, like I said, 109,520. If you look at the 611, though, the real estate transfer taxes, or the real estate transfer, or the real estate taxes, where the budgeted amount was 90,738,672, but the actual was 88,517,356. That number was not because our collection rate was down. Our collection rate was still 90% for Monroe County and 92% for Pike County. That has been historical, and that has been steady for the last 5 to 7 years. I will get to, at the end of the presentation, what the problem is in the real estate taxes. I talked about it during the budget for 24-25 and why it's the loss of assessment of value. The loss of assessment has been very, very steep in East Stroudsburg Area School District from the commercial side of the ledger. We've lost approximately 59 million. I'll reiterate that again at the end of the presentation, but that is a significant and serious problem that we need to address, and we will address it. But this has been one of those things. It's not to do with the fact of people not being able to pay their real estate taxes. It has to do with the fact that we're losing assessment value. The earned income tax and real estate transfer taxes, we budgeted $5.5 million, and we actually collected $6,855,614, which was primarily driven by real estate transfer taxes, property they're still selling in the area in East Stroudsburg Area School District. The big winner, though, on this one, if you had to pick a big winner, was the earning on investments. The budgeted amount was $750,000. The actual coming in was $3,478,526. The real estate, everybody complains about the high interest rates when you go out to the market to borrow money. However, we're putting your money to work for you. We're sitting here in the school district by earning revenue on the money that is actually sitting in the bank accounts. That is why we were able to turn, and why the board has not had to raise property taxes, is because the $3,478,526 was actually earned. That's probably about, I would say, about 30 to 40. I would not say that many, but it's probably about 20 to 25 school teachers that are interest on investments paid for just by the money earning interest sitting in the bank accounts. If you go to the next slide, we'll talk about the state revenues. The state sources of revenues, we did have a little bit of a caveat here that we will make up for in 24-25, which I'll touch on. This the basic ed funding, which is the money that funds our basic ed that comes from the state. We budgeted $22,671,965. We actually received from the governors and the legislator, $24,095,526. The special education funding, we budgeted $6,064,092, and we actually received $6,073,775. And the state share of the retirement was 17 million we budgeted, and we actually received 17,075,902. There's one section that we did not receive, which is our share of the rental seeking subsidy that you'll see as a category on your AFR. What the rental seeking subsidy is the plan con money. We didn't receive it until August of 2024. Therefore, it will be received and booked as a revenue in the 2024-2025 fiscal year. If it had been received or booked, this number would have been higher, and it would have been reflective of the increase of the basic education funding. The basic education funding was booked as a conservative number because the state did not pass their budget on time for this budget cycle when it was completed. Also, I should have mentioned this at the beginning. This budget I was hired in April of 2023. This budget was completed about 65% or so was completed by my predecessor The other 35% was completed by me. So this is still not a complete 100% of my budget, but it was largely reviewed and completed by myself. So I just wanted to throw that out there as well. If you go to the next slide in the federal sources, the federal sources did have a lot of ESSER and grant money put in. But I do want to point out 8810 in this particular section. We budgeted $1 million in access money. However, we received $2,492,063 in access money. That is a tremendous amount of work that is done in the special education office when it comes to getting all the access dollars that help support the students that are most in need in our district. And that is it's a godsend because those students absolutely need that money. There is, and I also don't want you guys to get panicky either about the ESSER grants money in 8744 to 8755, where we budgeted 5,736,877 and we only received 4,528,123. We will receive the balance of the rest of our ESSER money in the 24-25 budget as we complete and fulfill all the grant money that all the grant projects and all the other projects that we have budgeted into the ESSER money. All that grant money will be completed and had to be completed by September. It has been. We did not leave any money or any dollars on the table. All that money will be reflective and budgeted out and closed out in this fiscal year. So you will see that, and then it will be all done, and you will see that all budgeted and actualed out in the 24-25 revenue side and in the expenditure side that you guys will see in next year's budget. So that sums up the revenue piece. Let's get into the expenditure side of the AFR. So if you please go to the next slide. We'll go into the instruction side of things, which is the 1,000 section. We budgeted 104,023,696, and we actually spent 102,73,401. The 1100s, which is a regular program, we budgeted regular programs. We budgeted 65,773,008, and we spent 63,588,259. The open positions were the primary drivers in this being lower than budgeted. These were some of the hardest to fill positions. Remember, as soon as July 1st hits, we have open positions anywhere in the budget. Doesn't matter if it's an instructional position, doesn't matter if it's a support position, doesn't matter who it is. The clock starts ticking on dollars that are being earned or saved, not earned, but saved in these type of positions. Also in the 1100s is money that is being saved in other areas that you have savings. And there was not any outliers or anything that stuck out that should be mentioned. I know there was a lot of talk about charter school money and savings, and I did not put this in there, but I guess I should have. The tuition that we paid the cyber charter schools this year was $8,779,695. That was the money that we paid to all outside cyber charter schools. That number is up from the previous years, and that is because I would imagine that is because of increased enrollment at the cyber charter school level. I also know that we are beginning an aggressive marketing campaign to bring some of those students back into our own. Dr. Vitale is extremely skilled at bringing those students back, and I believe that we'll be successful at bringing those students back. But I think that is something that we need to get under control. We did budget $9 million for that, so that it was under budget, but that is what we spent on cyber charter schools. Just so the members of the public know, when you send your student to a outside cyber school, the school district does pay, and it is a cost to the individual taxpayer in the district. If you go to the next slide, we'll talk about the support services in the district. The budgeted amount was $57,484,787, and the actual was $57,547,789. So it's a slightly over budget. Now I go through each line item in the support services because it was a little over budgeted. And I will go through each one. I will explain what each one does. The support services for the students was budgeted $8,746,625, and the actual was $7,576,370. The support services for the students is the Some of the, like the guidance services and some of those services and some of those staffs and their psychology services, some of those services in there. That is where some of our we had some open positions in there that led to some of the savings in there. There's 2,200 of the instructional staff, which are the paraeducators. We budgeted 3,529,861, and the actual spend was 3,724,740. In the 2,300s, the administration level, we budgeted 8,975,541, and the actual spend was 8,216,344. In the pupil health, which is self-explanatory, was budgeted 2,251,799. The actual was 2,275,860. In the 2,500s in the business section, budgeted 1,479,423, and the actual spend was 1,620,826. The reason for the over budgeted in that amount was we needed to keep our old accounting software online longer, and we will need to keep it longer for record retention purposes, because of the fact that we needed to, and the old record retention, the old accounting software was very, very expensive, and we just needed to keep it longer while we did the transition over, and the transition was extremely tedious and cumbersome when we switched the accounting software last year. And we also had to pay a lot in support services supporting that transition over. The 2,600, the operation and maintenance of plant services, we budgeted 17,472,071, and the actual was 17,364,267. So we came in under budget. That is extremely positive. I think Daryl and Rob do a phenomenal job managing their respective divisions and departments. The 2,700s, the student transportation services, we budgeted 11,066,852, and the actual was 10,966,272. So there wasn't a lot of savings in there like in the past we anticipated, and the offsets that were saved on the open positions were offsetted by the overtime that was spent in fulfilling the needs to transport the students. So I think that is something that we need to keep in mind moving forward. The 2,800 were the support services in tech and central. Now there's a big caveat in this, and so before I read the number, I want you guys to understand that a lot of these expenses were offset with grants. So they look bloated, but they really are not. They are offset with the revenue from the grant money, that they're not offset on the profit and loss statement, which means they're not offset by the expenditures, but they're offset on the revenue side. So they're budgeted 3,912,625, and the actual was 6,498,963. So while we booked the 2,800s as an expense, they were offset on the grant side of things and on the E-rate side of things and on other things that tech department brings in. So the tech department's budget was under budgeted by about $200,000. So it was not that way. If there was a flag to be had, I would have flagged it for you guys much earlier than that, and I would have stopped purchasing and stopped those type of things earlier. So when you guys see this, I don't want anyone to think that we were over budget in that particular area. The next slide, please. The 3,000 was which is the operational non-instructional services. This is like the athletics and the other side of the ledger, which is 3,161,562, and the actual was 3,326,438. This is well budgeted throughout the section. There was not any significant anomalies moving around in here that I'm concerned about. So there's nothing really to be concerned about here. If you go to the next slide. The 4,000 were the construction and improvement services. This was another section that was governed by the ESSER 3 grant expenses. The budgeted amount was a $4 million flat, but the actual was $8,006,889. The only code that was budgeted in this was the 4,600, which is existing building improvement services, which was budgeted at $4 million, but the actual expenses was $7,608,977. The other costs that make up the $8,006,889 was accounts for legal expenses and engineering expenses, some other things that make up that $8 million. But that was basically to subside the building projects that we did moving forward. If you go to the next slide, please. The 5,000s are other expenditures and financing uses or debt services. We budgeted 19,113,945, and the actual was 16,973,636. The debt service budget was 17,113,945, and the actual was 16,943,753. The interfund transferred out was $1 million, but we only spent 29,883, and the budgetary reserve was $1 million, and the actual was 0. We did not use any of the budgetary reserve. That is why there's that fluctuation there in the budgetary reserve. The interfund transfer out would be if we needed to transfer money out of the general fund to the cafeteria fund. If the cafeteria fund would suffer a catastrophic loss, our cafeteria fund or enterprise fund is a self-sufficient business that is, it runs like a business and it is profitable, but if somehow it turned south and the general fund had to sort of bail it out, so to speak, that would be what that interfund transfer out money is for. That way we keep that money in there so that the taxpayers and the general public know that we are accounting for if we had some kind of loss or repairs that we needed to make in the cafeteria. The general fund would use that money to fix those repairs out. If you go to slide 12, it just, I think, talks about the plan moving forward. Next month, we will begin to discuss and finalize what to do with the tax equity payment that the state will allow us to use in the 25-26 fiscal year, which is great. It's phenomenal. They give us $5.5 million this year and say we can't use it till next year. So we have to discuss and decide what we're going to do with it. Dr. Vitale and I will meet and put together a plan or a couple options for you guys and bring it forward and talk about it then. The biggest caveat, though, is we have to understand and know that ESASD has lost $59,639,641 in assessment values in the last 3 years, or a negative 2.7% negative change just in the last 3 years, 2021, 2022, 2023. That does not include 2024, which Attorney Brown has briefed us on. That is a significant loss of money. That is why, if you look back at the 3 previous budget years, we budgeted exactly the same amount, $90 million in real estate collections. But every year, the district has not reached their goal in real estate tax collections. We were bailed out by the fact that the interest earnings bailed out the Stroudsburg Area School District every single year. That is why I addressed that by lowering our expectations appropriately in real estate earnings by lowering it to the $88 million, because that is what a realistic expectation would be on the collection rate. This is due to primarily commercial properties. The commercial properties have filed a slew of property reassessment appeals to the Monroe County, and they have, because of the common level ratio. And I can go into a dissertation discussion on that, but I don't want to put you guys to sleep. It is brutally hot in here, and I just don't want to put you to sleep on that. We can talk about that. We could talk about that later and go into that about that for later. So we have met, and so we will talk about that in our budget meetings and figure out a way to move forward. But when the budget comes out, I want the community to know that this will be the administration's budget. This will be my budget. If you want to beat somebody up, beat me up. Don't beat up these 9 people sitting around me. This will be my budget. This will be I'll take ownership of it. I don't want anyone to blame any decision, if it's a tax increase or whatever the case may be, on these other 9 people around them. But at some point, the board has to deal with that assessment loss, and it's not on them. So it's going to be something that we will propose a solution moving forward. I have met, and my team has met with most, if not all, the district leaders to begin building the 25-26 budget. Their deadline is December 16th. They hand all the materials back in, and then Dr. Vitale and I, and we'll go through them and begin to put together that budget. If you guys have any questions, members of the public, anybody have any questions, please reach out to me at my email address or my phone number and extension there. That's all I have. So guys, do you have any questions on this presentation or anything like that?
Any questions? Just to thank you, Peter, to you and your staff. Obviously a lot of time and effort to put together a very comprehensive report. So thank you for that information. Any questions, comments? Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, then we'll move on to public participation. A reminder, it is limited to comments on this agenda by residents and taxpayers of the school district with a 3-minute time limit. Is there anyone present or online who would have any public input at this time? No one online? Okay, and no one present? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on. Any unfinished from the board? Any unfinished business that is from the board? Okay, moving on. A motion to adopt in new business, local board procedures, motion to adopt the board policies listed below.
So moved.
Second.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that's. Okay, a motion to approve all of the motions set forth in number 10 programs.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Questions?
Sure. I did read through these and it was very interesting. I'm not really sure I understood all of it because I am not an educator, but can we just get like a high level, just a kind of overview on this, just for my edification?
It's the school one. So like Title I and all that. Right.
Okay, the Title I, and well, it's yeah,
Are you talking about A?
yes, A, right?
The school program plan?
So,
The-
so all of our, if you don't mind me taking this, all of our elementary schools are designated Title I.
Right,
You have two choices for Title I. You could be targeted assistance or school-wide. Targeted assistance means that only a small population of those students in the elementary school are considered title and can receive those services. School-wide means that everybody is considered a Title I student and everybody can receive the services. School-wide is the only way to go. It makes no sense to do targeted. But when you do school-wide, you need an annual improvement plan.
okay,
So it doesn't matter what your achievement is, but you need it to be under that designation. The other schools in that are either ATSI or TSI, which means that they're not meeting expectations with the standardized assessment.
okay.
Is that what you were asking?
Sure, and I just want to say that it looks like a lot of work went into this, and I really appreciate everybody's efforts on that. I mean, I understood the basic parts of that, but I just,
It's a really comprehensive process of including all stakeholders and really building a plan that targets what the school's initiatives are.
right, thank you.
Good, great question. Anyone else? Question, comment? Okay, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, new business pupils, a motion to approve the recommendation to modify expulsion requirements agreed upon.
So moved. Second.
Any questions?
These, no.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
You skipped one.
Did I?
It's part of the
It's
same
part
thing.
of program.
Part of program.
It's all part of 10.
It's all part
You
of
see what he's doing.
That's the new way.
Okay,
Leave him alone, he's on a roll.
we're on a roll. Now on number 12, new business personnel. We need a motion to approve all the items set forth in number 12 in personnel.
Section.
So moved.
We have first, second. Okay, and questions or comments?
Yeah, I have an
Just
abstention,
the-
just,
The change that Wayne had made by motion at the beginning. So
and I have an abstention as well, page 8, line 38.
Okay, so noted.
And I need to abstain on page 8. I knew it before,
Your line.
17.
Let me look, hold on. No, wait, you're.
17. You're welcome.
Yeah,
Okay, so noted.
but you're page 7 though,
On page 7,
You're
Yeah,
page
that's-
7,
and I'm page 8.
okay, page 7.
Get it right, Wayne.
17.
Okay, good. Anyone else?
Yeah, yes, you're right.
Questions or other comments?
Nope.
Okay, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, move on. New business finances, number 13. A motion to approve all items set forth in section 13 finances.
So moved.
Second.
Questions, comments?
Wayne,
All in
get ready.
favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Wayne, you have to just vote no.
Okay, we're now moving on.
Just a question.
I'm sorry, Rich.
I just want to give Wayne ample time to.
Wayne, you have to
What?
vote no.
But you're saying we're at payment of bills already?
Yeah.
No, at 14.
All together, so if you want to separate the one out that
Can't
you'd
let him
like
do
to.
this.
Or you can vote-
Yeah, I'm gonna vote no on payment of bills.
Okay, so we're separating payment of bills and we have one no vote. Good.
Throwing curveballs with this laptop, I tell you.
Let's see.
I think we'll just have the minutes reflect that the consent motion carried 9-0, D was separated and it's 8-1. Okay, that sound right?
That sounds
All
correct.
right, good.
Okay, just a note for anyone watching, we're using a new format, so we're just getting our way through it. I think we're doing pretty good. Okay, let's go on to number 14, new business property. A motion to accept the grant from the Pocono Mountain United Way for East Stroudsburg Area School District Summer STEAM Program in the total amount of $8,000 via donation from PP&L Electric Utilities.
So moved.
Second.
I've got to abstain.
I have to abstain as well.
Okay, any other abstentions or comments? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hey, new business operations, number 15, motion to approve all items set forth in number 15, operations.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Number 17, adjournment. Any
So moved. Second.
Discussion?
discussion? Okay, all in favor?
We'll see everybody at the reorg meeting.
And reorganization meeting is coming up in early December, so we will see everybody there. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
There you go.
I know.
It's the third.